Hello. This is the first episode of our Mexicana and Gringo show. I'm Joe.
And I'm Diana.
Anyway, I was born on July 10th, 1970, in a little town called Watertown, New York. For those of you who had never heard of it, doesn't surprise me at all, but it's about as close to Canada as Laredo is to Mexico. And that's where I was born, and I spent the first part of my life in a little town called Hudson, and then the next part of my life in a little town called Germantown. My first part of my life, it was pretty non-explanatory. I mean, it was boring, normal kid stuff. I remember I remember the last couple of days we were here. They had this. We lived right by the Hudson River. We lived across the river from the Catskill Game Farm, and I remember that we had a flood so bad because we lived right by the Hudson River, and the where we lived, it was built on a levee system, which means like they built these hills so that when the river rises, it keeps the water controlled. But it broke the levee, and all the water came rushing into our house. And both my sisters were in high school at the time. I was in like first grade. My brother was in my brothers one was in kindergarten, and the other one wasn't even in school yet. I have an autistic brother. I'll talk about him later in the program on another episode. But anyway, the three of us got into a kiddie pool. I'm not kidding. This is a true story. With a couple of broomsticks, and literally floated down the driveway to where the water receded. And that's the last only important memory I remember. And then,
From that place?
yeah. But there was a flood so bad that my three brothers and I got in one of those really.
That's all the memories you have from that
Not
place.
really. Yeah. I mean, other than the fact that the house we lived in, Herbert Hoover was a former president of the United States, had lived in there, and it was purported to have the ghost of Herbert Hoover in the house, and that's really probably pretty much where my fascination with the paranormal started. Is there was a lot of weird things that happened there, like it would be perfectly still summer night, and we all be out chasing fireflies. I know you've never seen them here, but we had fireflies, and they'd light up their butt, and we catch them, we put them in a jar, and they. But on a still night, we'd be catching fireflies, and we'd hear crash. And we go into the living room, and the house was built back in the day. They built houses on the pier and beam. They didn't build them on concrete slabs like they do more now than ever. They still build things on pier and beam like by the coast and stuff to keep them up off the water, in case hurricane season comes in or whatever. But our first house was pier and beam. So whenever anything happened, you heard it because the whole house made noise. But it was a still night, and there was no wind at all, and we heard this loud crash, and we went into the living room, and this one bookshelf that was literally nailed into the floor was pushed over, and there was nobody in the house because we were all outside chasing lightning bugs. But that stuff like that happened all the time. We'd hear things, and we'd be in bed asleep at 11 o'clock at night, and we'd hear something going on in the attic, and it was way too big to be a gerbil or a we used to lose gerbils all the time, but a gerbil or a squirrel or a bird that had been caught in there. We'd hear noises like walking. So yeah, they say that, who knows, maybe Herbert Hoover's ghost was there when I was there as a little boy. Anyway, the first 5 years of my life, I remember things like I remember when my mom wanted me to go to kindergarten. I had to do like an interview with the principal or something, and they put on this record of, hey, the first time I ever heard "Are you happy and you know it" was my interview with the principal to see if I was good enough to go to public kindergarten.
How old are? Oh, you're in kindergarten.
Yeah, 5 maybe 4. I'm gonna be 5 or something. It was like June. Yeah, it seems like at the beginning of summer you met the principal because you're going to be starting to school the next. Meet the principal, meet your teacher. It's not a whole lot different than the way they do it today. But I remember if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. From when I was 5, and but other than that, there are not a whole lot of exciting things going on. My father was a mean guy, man.
Okay, stop right there.
Okay.
So I have to tell you a memory. My earliest memory.
Okay.
From when I was a kid. And I don't have many.
Okay, well, what's
the
your
only
memory?
one I have is when I started school, first grade.
Yeah.
Because I didn't go to kinder. I don't know if there was kinder or I just didn't.
She was born in Mexico, by the way, guys. Remember that.
I was born in Nuevo Laredo, Tamaulipas.
When?
Mexico, March 7, 1971.
And her little town in Mexico is like Watertown was to the United States, but she was born in Mexico, where I was born in the United States. But she was born as close to the United States as I was born to Canada. We almost didn't get together. I was almost born a Canadian, and Anyway, just through the geography. But anyway, she was born
But
in
the
Mexico.
thing is, I don't have any memories when I was little kid. The earliest memory that I had when I was, I guess, in first grade. I just remember school. Like see, I don't want to cry.
Baby, you're wearing sunglasses. No one will see it. She cries, guys. It's okay. It's girl.
I remember.
It's all right.
No, I can't. Okay, I
I'll probably cry
remember
sometime.
one of the teachers. I remember being one of the tallest girl in the class, and they always make fun of me because you're too big to be in first grade.
So you didn't go to kindergarten in Mexico?
Okay. I don't know if there was kindergarten. I just didn't go to kindergarten.
Okay.
I need to ask my sister.
Yeah.
The thing is, I learned how to read. But in first grade, I could read.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I knew she was smart.
My sister, but the thing is, I don't remember. I don't have many details like you do. My sister, she was doing her homework or whatever, reading books, and I learned through her reading and her.
Because she's older than you are.
Yeah, 1 year older. So, but I don't remember if she went to kindergarten or not. I don't remember. I don't have all those details. I just remember that they make fun of me since I was in first grade. Because I was the tallest girl in the classroom.
Mm.
And then one day, I don't remember if because of that, but one of my teachers, a male teacher, had an eraser. Remember, it was back in the day we had the blackboards and chalks and erasers. And he said, who's bothering you? And I said, well, so and so. And I said, come here. And he grabbed his hand and he was like, stop doing it. Bam, bam, with a
ruler.
I think it was a ruler.
Were you in Catholic school?
No.
Okay, because I thought I know she was Catholic her whole life. I just thought that
No,
I saw Catholic
school.
movies. I just thought that.
But I remember the bullying since the first memory I have from school. It was picking on me because I was.
And then they whipped their hand with a ruler or something.
With an eraser or a ruler, I don't remember.
So it was more to scare them than hurt them.
Because back in the day, the teachers could give you a spank or slap you with the ruler or something. Anyway, so that's the only memories I have, and from school, and my mom bringing us on recess time. She would bring us tacos, flour tortilla with beans and eggs,
really,
and a hot coffee. Oh my God!
She brought you a hot coffee when you were in kindergarten. That explains a lot.
But it was like
on caffeine since she was a kid.
No, it was mixed with milk, but it was good.
Oh, I love coffee with milk in it. It's delicious.
And I remember sitting with my sister and my mom on a tall sidewalk, and that's only remember that, and I was taller than anyone else there, and they started making fun of me of that.
And that was when you were.
And
still
I
in
remember
Mexico, right?
I was smart.
You were still in Mexico then, right?
I was smart in school.
You were still in Mexico then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about first and second grade.
Yeah.
I think
it gets interesting. It gets more better than that.
That's the only. I think that's the only years I did over there, first and second grade, and then I was smart because I got first grade. I got second place in the class, and I got an award.
Oh, cool.
And then on second grade, I think I got another second place, but my dad was pissed at the teacher because the teacher he was gay. I don't know.
That's fine. We're LGBTQ. I mean, when I was, talk about this later. But one of the reasons I served my country was to support the right to all Americans to be what they want to be, and not just be all you want to be in the U.S. Army. I mean, be all you be as a United States American. And if you want to be gay, that's your right. You'll have to answer for it later, but that is your right.
Okay, so this teacher. My dad said he was gay. He liked one of the parents from the other girl. The other girl, it was blonde, and the dad, it was I think
the dad was cute and you liked him.
I think so, but I think he was a wrestler or a boxer. I don't know what he was. Bodybuilding. He was into something like that, yeah. and the teacher gave the girl. His daughter, the first place. But I was...
You deserved it.
Yeah.
You really earned it.
Yeah.
He just gave it to her because he could. He had that kind of power.
She wasn't that smart. she was cute because she was pretty. She has green eyes. She had green eyes.
How many of you heard a story like that?
And he gave it to her. And since then, corruption.
Yeah, it starts off with, that's where narcos come from, man. Bad kindergarten teachers. That's where the narcos come from. Bad kindergarten teachers.
And
anyway.
And that was it. I don't have many memories. At home, I remember, I think we were still there. So I was like 7, 8.
Excuse me.
And I remember my mom spanking me with a belt so bad that my sister was like, "No, leave her alone, no more."
She still does that today. Don't you pick on her sister, boy.
And then my sister was telling my mom not to spank me anymore because she was spanking me and spanking because just because I talked back to her. That's all I did.
Well, with all due respect, I don't think it's. I think as a kid, you need to. I mean, I don't think you should have had your butt beat for it. But I think you need to treat your parents with
probably
respect.
was not the first time.
Well, still,
I just remember
you're a little kid.
I just remember
you're a little kid.
I just remember when she was spanking me that day, but I don't remember if it was the first time or not.
It hasn't changed a whole lot.
Anyway.
She just grew up. She still speaks her mind, and she's way louder than I am. I've often said it. I would have never been a good drill sergeant, but this girl is DI material all day long.
Anyway,
I listen to her.
That's the only thing. The memories I have from my childhood: my mom spanking me, and my
What about the things you told me about?
Oh, and my mom. She was like, we were singing lullabies at night. And this guy was Cri-Cri. Cri-Cri was a little what's it called? It was not a grasshopper. What's the other one?
Jiminy Cricket?
A cricket?
Yeah,
it's a cricket.
Jiminy Cricket. That's who I know of.
Yeah, it's a cricket.
I know Jiminy Cricket.
It's a cricket.
Cri-Cri.
It's Cri-Cri. Cri-Cri.
It's Spanish for cricket.
And my mom knew all the songs. It was not lullabies. It was just kid songs from Cri-Cri. And we were singing along with my mom. And the afternoon, she would just put us in bed and, okay, yeah, you had enough. Come here. And we would later, this was my mom, and my mom was singing, and we were just listening to her. And I remember all those kid songs.
Her mom was a peach. She didn't like me a whole lot at first, but when she realized I wasn't going to go anywhere, she that changed. So anyway.
So, that's memories with my mom. My dad working hard all the time.
Yeah.
Coming back. I'm just saying my memories. That's all that memories.
But you had more than that when you came to Laredo.
Oh, but little kid.
Yeah, but
when Laredo, I was over there.
You were only in second grade when you weren't a grown up. You weren't driving in second grade, were you? You're still a little kid in second grade. Weren't you in second grade?
Yeah, but like I said,
when you were sixth grade, you came here, right? Sixth grade.
The thing is, I don't have memories of. I just have memories of first, second, and I don't have memories of
third, fourth, and fifth. But you came over to the U.S. You came to Laredo, Texas, when you were in sixth grade, right?
I finished elementary here.
And she didn't speak a lick of English. And to this day, I'll be honest with you. Look at me when I tell you this. Look at me now. Remember me later. My wife speaks better English than a lot of people I know. That's all they speak is English. She when she works on something, she hones it. You know, she polishes it to a fine little, shiny little ball until she gets it perfect. Now she's on to Portuguese, but her English and Spanish are impeccable.
Yeah, but my long memory is gone, I guess, because I don't remember anything else until we got here.
Yeah.
I just, like I said.
And that's another story.
Like I said, when I was a kid, a little kid, I just remember going to school, boys making fun of me.
Yeah.
I didn't have any friends. My sister and I, all the time.
Well, I'm gonna tell my little story about coming to Dallas, and then we're gonna make episode 2, Dallas.
Well, I guess this is just the memories for kids.
I didn't have any either. I guess because when things are traumatic that happen to you, you block them out. Because I can remember, my father was my biological father was a really, really bad man. He's dead, and I'm not going to defend him. He doesn't deserve it. He did things that use your imagination, things that are worse than that. Anyway, So my mother and my father, I don't even know why they stayed together as long as they did. Because my real dad was not my biological father. My real dad was my stepdad, and we'll talk about that later. But anyway, I'm gonna, like I said, up until then, my mother made the money. So even though he was a just a womanizing, abusive, alcoholic, mean man, um, he let my mother pretty much do what she wanted to do because she made 2 to 3 times as much money as he did from the very beginning. And as a veteran on a pension, this is the breadwinner over here. Anyway, long story short, after the flood, the next couple of days, all I remember is we had one of those like the Chevy Chase movie. What was it? The Huxtable, the big truckster, the holiday. Oh, holiday. Oh. We actually had one of those station wagons like that, and we loaded that sucker up. And we had a back in the day. If you were gay, you kept it hush hush. But we know we had an Aunt Pat, and Aunt Pat was just a very, very, very tight family friend. But she was very, very. Now I realize she made Ellen look feminine. Okay, my Aunt Pat drove an 18 wheeler in the 70s. I mean, and she loaded up her 18 wheeler, and her friend Barbara looked a lot like Aunt Pat. No makeup, hair all pulled back, or short hair, and a cowboy hat, and jeans, and a brush popper shirt, and a big belt with a belt buckle and cowboy boots. And if you were in a dark room, you couldn't tell them from a man. Anyway, long story short, um, Aunt Barbara drove Aunt Pat's truck, her pickup, and her horse trailer, and Aunt Pat drove her semi. She had her own little business, and so she did over the road hauling. Loaded that up. My mom paid for all the gas and all the diesel because trucks have always run on diesel, and moved here to Texas, and right after the flood. And all I remember, and this is where I'm going to leave right here, and I'm going to let her talk about her. I'm going to introduce her, and then this is where we're going to leave it. I remember being in second grade at St. Vincent's Episcopal School in second grade. And I remember when it was time to read, the teacher was reading us a story, and I sat down on this little, we call, I forget what we called it, but you guys here in Texas called it Indian style. I sat down in Indian style, where you put your legs in it and you sit down on your butt and on the floor. And this little boy goes, "Scoot over," and I'm like, "No, man, hey, you scoot over, buddy. I just got here, and I know I got to stand there." The teacher's like, "Listen, little, hey, Joe, what do you think scoot over means?" And I'm like, "I don't know, but I don't like the way it sounds." She says, "All he was telling you to do is move over." So I thought he was starting a fight, and all he was asking me to do was scoot over in Texas. And I was born and raised in the first 7 years of my life in New York, so I didn't know what scoot over meant. And that's I'm gonna leave it right there, and Deanna's let you tell her about her first. She's gonna go all the way to 6th grade because this is when the poo poo hit the fan. About you told me about how when you were in school you carried.
Oh yeah, well in Nuevo Laredo there was instead of backpacks we used a little suitcase.
Yeah.
And it was not
like a briefcase.
Like a briefcase, yeah. Yes. And
it sounds cute,
Yeah, I have a picture somewhere of
just like a large briefcase for a kid.
Not a suitcase, yeah, a briefcase. It was small.
Yeah.
And
the little kids don't carry those.
No. Over there,
in
yes.
Mexico, yes.
And only the people that had money had those.
And your father was always trying to keep up with
my dad, we didn't have the money. We were rich, but he always tried to give us something special. And we got those briefcases for Christmas or something, I guess. I don't know. But when we went to school with them, and over there in Mexico, they were cool, but not here. So we come here.
6th grade, right?
Yeah.
And she didn't speak any English yet. She spoke no English.
And we didn't have an ESL class there in elementary, which is like they threw us to the regular classes where everybody spoke English. So, like I said,
She
probably
didn't
it's
fail.
a very
By the way,
bad memory.
She didn't fail.
It's a bad memory
She never
because I
failed.
don't recall much details, only the bad part, which is I was, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say this.
Go ahead, honey. Go ahead. Go ahead. It's okay. Your friends are out there. They appreciate your honest emotion. It's okay. Come on.
I remember coming with my briefcase
Mm-hmm.
in a hallway.
Yeah.
And the teacher, the male teacher said, where do you think you're going? You're going on a trip or something?
The teacher said that to you? And he had to have known. He was a teacher. He'd been educated. He knew why you had those briefcases. He was just being mean, right?
No, because probably he didn't know. Because here was backpacks or bags. Over there was the little briefcase, but not here.
They had backpacks when we were kids. Anyway.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Anyway, so I just remember that he made fun of my briefcase that my mom bought.
And then we're gonna leave it there, folks.
And since then, I said, no one is making fun of me anymore.
And believe me,
no one.
Believe me, don't mess with her. Okay, you can mess with Texas before you mess with Deanna. Anyway, long story short, that's gonna be episode 1, and we got more to tell you tomorrow or next week. But stay tuned; it's gonna get weird. And I'm Joe. It's the cats. I'm Joe.
And I'm Deanna.
And this is the Mexicana and Gringo show.